agora aqui no programa você vai curtir uma entrevista exclusiva com a banda americana Disturbed na sua recente passagem pelo Brasil. Vamos curtir Disturbed invadindo a sua tela.
Fala galera do Stay Heavy, estou aqui com o David, vocalista do Disturbed, e vamos saber as novidades da banda e também um pouquinho da carreira deles aqui. Hello Dave, I would like you to please describe Disturbed to the Brazilian guy.
Describe Disturbed. It is a guitar-driven, rhythmic, melodic assault on the senses. We're just take our influences from the seminal hard rock and heavy metal bands, Sabbath, Maiden, Metallica, Priest, Pantera. So I think we definitely fit in that world.
Great, and that would be my second question: which bands have influenced Disturbed? And as I already said, but which bands do you listen to nowadays? Also newer bands.
Newer bands, definitely. Our boys in Art of Dying, very proud of them, doing an amazing job. I love the new Volbeat record. I love the new Trivium record. It's amazing. I've been listening to that a lot lately, actually.
And you have released 5 studio albums since you have the band. Tell us about the evolution of Disturbed sound to Asylum you released in 2010.
Well, the songwriting has definitely become much more complex over the years. We've become much better at what we do over the course of time. Each one of us has individually become quite a bit better at our own individual instruments. It's hopefully what you get after playing together for 14 years. So, but I think that with each record we progressively we raise the level of proficiency, we raise the level of musicianship, and we raise the hook that's inherent in each one of these songs. And it's always been a big part, a primary part of what we focus on, is making sure that every song grabs everyone in a certain way. And so with Asylum in particular, it definitely saw us branch out in a couple different directions, using some more instrumental stuff on the record, such as Remnants, which is the introduction to Asylum. And also, from a lyrical perspective, it was much more written, just kind of heart on your sleeve type of thing, very direct, very literal, very storytelling sort of format, as opposed to the much more cryptic style that I had adopted to prior records.
And how was the tour of Asylum, and how is it to be in Brazil?
The tour this whole year has been amazing, particularly since the new year. It's been just explosive for us. We're really relishing it and very much enjoying it. As far as being in Brazil, finally, after all these years, we've wanted to come for a very, very long time. We know that there's a hard rock and heavy metal fan base here unlike anywhere else in the world, so we've been trying to make it happen for a long time, but the opportunities just weren't right for us yet up until this point in time, so we're very, very happy to finally make it.
Great. How did you have the idea to have the guy as a mascot?
Well, in the very, very beginning of the band, we wanted an image, a symbol, an icon to represent the band. And I sat down with a friend of mine one day who was a graphic designer, and I said, well, we need to come up with a symbol. What do you want to do? I'm like, well, how about just like a devilishly grinning, menacing kind of face? They're like, what do you mean? And I made this face, and with the arched eyebrow and the smile, and he went ahead and did it stick figure fashion, just lines on the computer, and then distorted it with a distortion program, and he did it once, twice, the third time, and I told him stop, and that became the face. The reason why it's called The Guy is Mikey's nephew at the time used to be afraid of the face, and he would say, is that the guy? I'm afraid of the guy. And the name The Guy just kind of stuck. When we did the 10,000 Fists record, we felt it was time to bring that two-dimensional face to three-dimensional life. And so we enlisted the services of Todd McFarlane, who's famous for Spawn and whatnot. And he's the one who created the three-dimensional person-like guy that you see today. And he's evolved over each consecutive record after that with David Finch on the Indestructible record and Raymond Swanland on the Asylum record. And I think he gets more and more visceral and frightening over the course of time, which we love.
Great. And Disturbed is very big in the United States. And how is the work in Europe and also South America? You have a base of fans here, you said, but how is it? What's the difference between United States and the rest of the world?
Depending on where we're talking about, in many parts of the rest of the world, we're headlining festivals and playing arenas in the same way that we are in the States. Much of Europe has seen, finally, over the past 2 record cycles, through a lot of work and a lot of dedication, tremendous growth for the band. For South America, it's our first time here, so you need to plant the seed. I know a lot of people tend to not even believe that bands are coming when they announce that they're coming down here. So, we're definitely here. We're here to kick ass and let people have a memory in their minds of what it's like to experience a Disturbed show.
During an interview in July, announced that Disturbed would go on indefinite hiatus due to personal reasons with each of the band members. When the band actually will stop and why exactly will it happen?
Well, the hiatus will begin after the South American tour. The reasons why, I don't want to beat them to death. Let it simply be said that it has nothing to do with any sort of issue between the band members. It's simply a matter of, we've been touring off and on for 12 years straight. No real breaks. Make a record tour. There has to be a time to breathe at some point in time. But if people really want the exact details of how I've actually elaborated on the numerous reasons why, they're welcome to read the Revolver article online. I was pretty explicit about it in there, and it sums it up about as good as any can.
And in June, you have the final part of the European tour cancelled, include Hellfest Festival, which Stay Heavy was there. And did it have something to do with this decision of the band of slowing down the touring?
No, what it had to do with, unfortunately, is the festivals that we were already a part of in the beginning of that planned routing have radius clauses. In other words, when you commit to play the festival, you can't play another territory within a certain distance for a certain period of time. That made our routing very, very difficult and made us have to go very long distances on that second half, to the extent that, taking into consideration the wonderful laws and the new laws that are in place in Europe in terms of limitations on bus drivers and when they can drive, when they can't drive, and when they need to punch their ticket and get another driver and rest for 6 hours and so on and so forth and whatever, in addition to, at the time, which were skyrocketing fuel costs and transportation costs combined, had we continued on with that leg as planned, we would have taken a loss to the tune of several $100,000. So as much as we'd really like to do it, believe it or not, this is still our livelihood and a business, and it broke our hearts because we really, really wanted to get back to Spain. We wanted to play France. We wanted to play all these places that we had really been looking forward to getting back into for many, many years. But it just wasn't in the cards this time. So hopefully, if and when we do decide to get back together and we come back to Europe, they'll definitely be high up on the list.
And Disturbed's come with a B-sides album by the end of the year. It will be entitled The Lost Children. Okay. Talk a little about this release.
Well, it's just simply a collection of all the B-sides from all 5 records. Everything that was not released on the proper record. A lot of stuff that people may have heard in foreign releases, but a lot of stuff that people haven't heard as well. It'll also include a few cover songs that we've done that weren't a part of those records specifically. it's going to be probably about 14 tracks deep. It's going to be a nice collection of material, and in our opinion, these songs realistically are as strong as anything on the primary records to begin with. And there will be a single to launch it as well, and we're very much looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a really nice parting gift, so to speak, and surprise for the fans.
Okay, so please, now the space is open for you to leave any message you want for your fans, or to say anything else you want.
Well, just that we're very, very happy to finally make it here to Brazil, and we hope that everyone that can make it out makes it out to the show tonight, and that we hope that they have a memorable experience, because we're gonna beat the crap out of you. So get ready. It's gonna be something for you to remember. Hey, what's up? This is Dave.